This is Duke University.
Does the future have in store for Africa? I'm not going to propose to answer that, but I do think that there's been a tendency to look at the most recent historical period in Africa without giving enough weight to a kind of massive political economic fact. And here I'm sort of showing my colors maybe. There's been an enormous boom in commodities for the last decade. Most African economies are extremely dependent on the export of primary commodities. Right? And we think, I think, in many parts of Africa, we think of the last 10 years as being really bad, right? But in terms of global political economy, the last 10 years have been exceptionally good in terms of commodities prices. Usually commodities prices kind of go like this, right? For the last 10 years, they've kind of gone like this. And so the current economic crisis raises a huge question about what's going to happen to the prices of those commodities. And nobody really knows, as far as I can tell. I mean, the economists talk about super cycles and things. There are various theories about what it might mean. Is China going to keep growing the way it's been growing indefinitely? Because that's what's been supporting these commodities prices. What if it doesn't? I don't know, but if commodities prices really enter a sustained slump, then we could see some very, very hard times economically on the continent. And that also might want to temper any sort of temptation to tell sort of over-optimistic stories about African futures.
I agree with Jim. Don't worry, you will find a moment when
we'll fight sooner or later.
We're just preparing the ground for But I agree with him on this, clearly. And two questions. Where is Africa going? And is the world going to the direction of Africa? So then we have Rem Koolhaas and all the authors Jim mentioned. And the question, where is Africa going? I don't believe that Africa is going in one direction only. My feeling is that if we take Africa as the polemical term we talked about, as a relational term we mentioned, then the only possible response is that Africa is going towards multiple directions simultaneously. And therefore that when people say, okay, the world is catching up with Africa, I mean, what Africa are they talking about? If indeed the directionality is multiple, the models of time change is following are themselves multiple, concatenation of times, and therefore we can't really work with one-way causal models. That what we have to account for is the multiplicity of the pathways and trajectories of change, which in itself is really an interesting epistemological issue. And if Africa brings one thing to the world of knowledge, it seems to me it's partly that.
Produced by Duke University, online at duke.edu.